Game. Go along, get along 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 game.
My mama's cooking.
Go along, get along game.
My mama's cooking.
Go along, get along game.
Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along. Stay with me, class. Get along. Go along, get along.
Go along, get along game. Go along, get along. Go along, get along.
Stay with me, class.
Go along, get along game. 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 Go along, get along game.
My mama's cooking.
Go along, get along game.
My mama's cooking.
All the gatekeepers say.
Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along.
Stay with me, class.
Get along. Go along, get along.
Go along, get along game. Go along, get along game is real.
Go along, get along game. Say,
Go along, get along game is real.
There's no go along, get along game.
Go along, get along game say,
Go along, get along game is real.
Go along, get along, game. Go along, get along, game.
Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Stay with me, class. Go along, get along game. Go along, get along.
Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along.
stay with me, class.
Get along. Go along, get along.
Go along, get along game.
Becky with the good hair.
Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Matt, Becky, Rico Suave, wave head, perm head, boot open, kick head, motherfucker.
I'm one of them dog niggas. I'm one of them dog niggas. I'm one of them beachy niggas that'll get you to shut your mouth.
Matt, Becky, Rico Suave, wave head, perm head, boot open, kick head, motherfucker.
Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair.
Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair. Matt, Becky, Rico Suave, wave head, perm head, boot ultra kick head, motherfucker.
Man, it's just weed. It ain't even that serious. It's about to be legalized. He was trying to tell you that. You
Oh no, I don't care. These hands don't look with all the money. They smoking weed. They smoking weed. Oh no, I don't care. These hands don't look with all the money. They smoking weed. They smoking weed. You wanna smoke that weed? You wanna smoke that weed? Oh shit, get that something in we have right now. We gonna cancel this goddamn man. You wanna smoke that weed? You wanna smoke that weed? God damn it, God damn it, God damn it, God damn it. Go get that something and put me in rehab right now.
Stay off the weed. Stay off the weed. Stay off the weed. Stay off the damn weed.
Oh no, I don't care. These hands don't look with all the money. They smoking weed. They smoking weed. Oh no, I don't care. These hands don't look with all the money. They smoking weed. They smoking weed.
ugly motherfucker, bald head bitch. You still ain't answering my question, bitch. Why did you go to those colleges, bro? Why did you go to those colleges? Ugly motherfucker. Bald head, bitch. You still ain't answered my question, bitch. Who paid you to go to college? Mr. Lion Steven Snitch.
Buck dancing, buck dancing, buck dancing, buck dancing, buck dancing. Buck dancing, little hoe you in.
I don't care. These hands don't look with all the money. They smoking weed. They smoking weed. Oh no, I don't care. These hands don't look with all the money. They smoking weed. They smoking weed.
Kids don't smoke weed. I'm not promoting weed.
Kids don't smoke weed. I'm not promoting weed. Salute, good people. How the heck are you? Man. Hey, listen, I heard of not liking somebody, but goodness gracious. Now everybody gonna cancel Joe Rogan now. I told y'all, we all in the sucking place. Don't nobody like nobody. Don't nobody really like nobody. All they got to do, I told you, is all about who we like. And if I like somebody that you don't like, then you don't like me anymore. And then you don't want other people to like me. You don't want me to make money. You don't want me to have friends. You don't want me to have a life, a job, a wife, a family. You don't want me to have nothing. Some of these people are so arrogant now, they play God with their resources. Because I like somebody you don't like, you want to do me something. That's not the way life is supposed to work. That's not how life's supposed to work. That's not supposed to be a punishment just because you don't like the person I like. Who the heck do I think I am? He said, I like you, KB Paul. And some people don't like you because of that. And this is getting out of hand. Everybody gotta take off their little boy underoos and they big bloomers, and we gotta start back adulting. We gotta get back to adulting. We gotta get back to conversations that don't require you to insult me or microaggress me because I may like somebody that you don't like or you're not that fond of. I don't think I should be microaggressed because of it. But this is where we at. You know how hard it is to talk to an educated person? If you can get them to get past their ego and the BS that they bring to the conversation, then you can get somewhere. And invalidating what you're trying to say, then you can get somewhere. But we're living in a time where you can get firsthand information to the president. We living in a time to where if you got a program or organization or a thought or some medicine, you can bring it, you can get to somebody who know how to get to somebody who can get to your president, and you could be standing in the White House. For the first time, you can see regular everyday citizens going to the White House and chilling with the president, giving him information that he actually used. Oh, y'all don't believe me? Okay, hold on. And it ain't just white folks. Real time, people go to this man. Watch this.
President Trump was accommodating. I'm going to give the man this. The man was very congenial, as we said that. I said, well, I have a mentoring program, but my mentoring program is restrictive because I can only do about 1,000 boys, and I can do them only one time a year in each city. I want to create vision centers around the country where I can take these schools that you're closing in the inner cities, take HUD funds, put it with them, and then go in and refurbish these schools and buildings and turn them into a place where boys and girls can come and learn life skills, and parents can come and learn financial skills. You can go online and look them up. They opened up 3 of them. All the ideas I had given them, they enabled. He's gonna make America great again. Let's go, Donald Trump. I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country to be in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's hands. That's why I do it.
Back then, they was all on them. Now they don't like them. But like I said, the proof is in the pudding. He just hired a black woman. What is her name, y'all? Chat. Y'all got to know this. Black women. Y'all got to know this. He just hired a very qualified black woman. I'll go get the art. I'll go get the page. I can't stand Steve. I'm telling y'all, we living in metaverse. Don't nobody like nobody. They only like you because of who you don't like. Y'all don't like each other together, you trauma bonding. If you decide to like the person, they don't like you no more. Look at Stephen A. He going through it. They going to expose something on Stephen A. Jack said, I know something about you, boy. Stephen A. better stop talking against LeBron, and he better stop talking against them Democrats. He gonna get chastised real good. This shit is crazy. We are in metaverse. Now, Trump just released a ban on the psychedelic drugs. There's gonna be some people that spin it like whatever. There's gonna be some people spin it like, wow, whoop-de-doo, Trump gonna get people high. But we got an epidemic of military men unaliving themselves once they come back from war. They go through war, make it back, and then unalive themselves because of the war. So you got to do something about that. You got to try something. So this racist white guy, Trump, hired this black woman to be over the disease. What is it called? You know what? I got to go get the article. But let me play this real quick first. An executive order was signed salute to Donald Trump for that, trying to help out the veterans. I know he say stupid shit. I know he depicted himself as Jesus, which was blasphemy. I don't like it. But I tell you what, I'd rather take this right here, a man who trying to leave something positive in the world, and a man who ain't trying to take all your money out your pocket, like these blue states doing to everybody now. You billionaires that left California, they gonna get y'all, boy. Don't try to run now. They said they gonna retroactive that money, boy. Woo, woo. And New York is gonna do it. New York, boy, that's crazy. Now I don't wish that on nobody. I don't wish that on nobody. For a state to calculate your assets, your paintings, your furniture, your cars, get a value of it, and then hand you a tax bill to leave. Oh, man, that ain't American. That is not the American way. We got a right to be anywhere we want to be. That is not the American way. So I'd rather have this than that. People that just want to give your money to illegals. No. I'd rather have a guy who's saying no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, acknowledging that there's a such thing called a man and there's a such thing called a woman. And yes, there's every other thing else, but they act like it's a crime to say man and woman. It's not. It shouldn't be a crime. But you can, I believe that you can be whatever the hell you want to be. That's the type of person I am. I don't give a fuck. A dang. I don't give a dang. Do what you want to do. But I want y'all to look at this, man.
I want to tell everybody how this happened. I sent President Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses. It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With 1 dose of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now. Thanks to all these people that we see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
So you telling me this old racist white man disproportionately he got rid of a law that disproportionately affected black folks? This old racist, God dog, Trump, you the worst racist I ever seen. You know what? F Donald Trump. Getting rid of laws that affected the civil rights movement, he said. Man, F Donald Trump, man. You don't supposed to do stuff like that. Allowing people to try different medicines with their body, you know, your body, your choice. You can unalive a baby under my body, my choice, but you will lock me up if I put a substance in my body that you think I shouldn't have. How does that make any sense? Somebody can say, they body, they choice, I'm getting that abortion. I'm going to get that abortion. But somebody can't put something in their body. I wouldn't give a Jimmy the Creek what you want to do to yourself. God gave you free will. I give you free will too. If that's what you want to do, as long as you ain't breaking the law doing it, cool. You want to lean over like the Tower of Pisa all day? Have at it. Shit. I'm not finna waste no man hours chasing you around for something you want to do. Man, please. I don't play God. People smoke marijuana, people drink, people do whatever. Do you? I wouldn't waste no time worried about what you want to do to you. Shit. You popping a pill don't do nothing to me. I'm not encouraging nobody to do it, but I'm just saying God gave free will. If that's what you choose to do, that's on you. But if other people want to be able to break that addiction, once you get tired of something and you're addicted to it and you're struggling and you can't do nothing about it, now they have alternative ways to maybe help with trying to break that addiction. That nigga D said that about you either. Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying, I don't get it. That's on you. Shit. Could have did some push-ups.
It's a little bit more liberal than that's okay. I have a lot of friends that are liberal, but Joe is an amazing guy. He wrote me a little note about this, and I had it checked out. I didn't just do it. I had it checked out. I went to Bobby and Oz. I went to some of the people that work for you, Real Pros, and everybody came back with the same answer. You know, normally they'll come back because this happens a lot. We have a couple of them like that. Where they're not sure. It's like, you know, it goes 2 ways. This thing, everybody thought it was incredible. And I told Bobby, I said, Bobby, let's just do it and get Oz involved. And it's going to get done so quickly. And You guys did a great job. Would you like to say something else?
Mr. President, I want to thank Matt Zora, who's hiding in the back there, who actually on Sunday wrote a draft for this. You already thanked Heidi and Kelly, but Susie Wiles makes everything run here. This was an unimaginable we go from connections to communication with Joe Rogan through the honey badger of them all, Bobby Kennedy, who said, we're not going to stop. We can start calling everyone on next step. Spirit been involved, and Chris Colump, who's been doing a fantastic job, helping everything in great efficiency, made something. I just want to emphasize this. This is an entire paradigm shift away from a one-day a pill model, which has failed so many. And the many who are drug resistant that Joe just spoke to, this offers them a way of getting out of that rut. The question now is, can we study?
Do anyone of y'all know about these type of drugs? Cause they talking like this, boy, they done cured something, boy. Does anybody know in the chat about these type of drugs? Cause when I think of psychedelic, I just think of somebody tripping out. You know, what you see on TV, what you see in the hood every now and again. Somebody tripping out and losing their mind halfway. So if any one of y'all know, throw it in the chat. Let me know.
Why it works, to understand it better, to use it better. That's what Jay Bhattacharya is going to do. NIH with major funding support, perhaps some ARPA as well. Marty spoke eloquently about the FDA's accelerated pathway for this. And then we're going to, when we learn more, figure out better ways of getting access to these products through our healthcare system. This is an extraordinarily exciting day, and it would never happen if the president just would not take no for an answer. He called on the way, Joe, to the fight on Saturday. And I think he was as determined to get this done as the men in those rings and women in those rings that night. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank Professor Nolan Williams. When I was a professor at Stanford, I got to know him, and he taught me about ibogaine and all the promise that it has for treatment-resistant depression and so many other conditions. Frankly, for me, I learned a lot. He unfortunately passed away last year. I want to thank this amazing team that just moved heaven and earth to get things done. I do want to emphasize this is something that we're still studying, and we have to keep studying. We have to figure out the right way to like make sure we administer it, that it's safe, that we don't just take it for granted. We already know everything, because we don't. And for the NIH and for ARPA-H, we are absolutely committed to making sure that we keep studying it, keep getting the best gold standard science on it. You see here, Norvolka, who's my National Institute of Drug Abuse director. She's been an absolute hero in just developing scientific, so the commitment for American science to focus on this. And in many ways, that scientific advance has brought us to this moment. So thank you, President Trump.
But if it's good, we want to get it fully approved fast, right?
I mean, for things that have great evidence, and that's what
these studies, they go on for a long time. If it's good, I mean, I have a witness right here. These two incredible brothers. That to me is a study, right?
I mean, it's just as Commissioner McCary said. There's stuff that we know and we can tell it works. We still got to figure out sometimes how it works or why it works. That we got to keep doing even as we move forward fast.
But it does work.
Some of those, I mean, absolutely, some of those.
The ultimate research, people that have taken it, because I've spoken to people that have taken it. Aside from Petrell, both of them, I've spoken to 5 people that had big problems.
Said it 3 times.
Yeah, please.
It fixed my demonic relationship.
This is Rob O'Neill, who's a friend of mine and a great guy. Go ahead.
It fixed my demonic relationship with alcohol. It saved my life, and then it saved my wife. So every day is a blessing. It took about 3 years of. I did 3 times. It's a different adventure every time. That's not fun.
So without it, you would have had problems.
I did it with. There was a Green Beret, 28-year sergeant major, that told me when we finished, make sure you tell Amber Capone, the CEO of Veterans Tour and Treatment Solutions, that she saved my life because I was going to kill myself next week. This was my last chance. I had a 28-year veteran tell me that. This works.
Okay, good.
Mr. President,
Yes.
please ask Marcus to speak about his experience.
Thank you, Secretary. Yeah, Mr. President, what Rob O'Neill was talking about, my wife, Amber Capone, is the CEO of our charity events, Veterans Tour and Treatment Solutions. We had prayed for this day to come 10 years ago when we started the charity. We've been sending veterans outside the country, Joe, that you've been talking about for years, several thousand now. And we said the mission will end once this day happens. So we believe this is a huge step in maybe that the mission goes away and now we have affordable access right here in the U.S.
Why did they get it done?
We're getting it done right. You're getting it done.
Yeah, why other presidents looking at it? Right? Why didn't they get it done?
They needed you.
That's my job. I can answer that question, sir.
Go ahead, please.
There's a small group of us in the House that have been.
And I can't wait to see what happens and if Trump is ever going to be able to have a presidency, maybe a year, 6 months, maybe 2 months without some drama or some turmoil going on. No riots in the streets, and just let them focus on the economy. And after this conflict is over, I think things are going to settle in. if they don't try something else, if they don't pull that little, riot game again, excuse me, which I think that's what they'll go to. But I just want to see what he's able to do, just focused on the economy and infrastructure and building that back up and bringing jobs back to America, because obviously $20 an hour didn't work, because every job, Florida took on $20 billion in wealthy people and their businesses moving to Florida. So clearly the people have spoken. Whether they say it out loud or not, they reject those Democratic policies. Now, whatever is making them vote or whatever is making them still stay silent, the numbers speak for itself. They cannot live up under Democratic policy. The numbers say so. Texas took on $5 billion. There's now people in Florida saying, don't come to Florida. They don't even want you to come down there no more. They done came down to Florida so fast that they are draining the resources in Florida. That's how fast people are escaping these Democratic policies while they're singing on TV talking about Trump is not a king. Regardless of whether you think Trump is a king or not, you need to start focusing on policies that you can live with. Because clearly they can't live with those policies. Because what's going to happen is there's going to be enough people that move to Florida that they're going to flip Florida blue. If they don't move that many people to Florida, they finna flip Florida blue. Sure is. Florida, them jokers down there crazy though. I think it's gonna be a lot of ass get whipped. Come and mess it up. Florida ebb and flow. But they gonna try to flip Florida blue. They gonna try to flip Texas blue as well, because y'all took in $5 billion with a B of these wealthy businesses and tech guys from California and New York. They moved down to Texas. Some of them are moving to Nashville. They moving anywhere else but New York, Chicago, all these states that want to be sanctuary and love everybody. Hey, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the numbers. They want to get mad. They want to talk all this history. They want to do all this blah, 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 blah. Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, and numbers don't lie. And they begging them rich people to come back. So much so, they trying to put a tax on them people for leaving. That's bad. That's fucked up. That's a shame. All these people stop talking to their family members. And they got the moral high ground because of what Trump said. But boy, I'll talk to you off the internet about what these other people do. I'll go over to my Patreon and we'll talk and see who got a moral high ground to talk about anything. Because this is sad while we at it. Now let's keep it going.
Trying to move legislation since I showed up. Mr. Correa, Mr. Bergman, Mr. McCall, Mr. Crenshaw, every year have tried to move legislation. That side of the room is not going to like what I have to say about this. And every year it has all fallen short. Every year it has all fallen short. And it's because of the proverbial roadblocks that are always in the way.
Right, that's right.
Okay, fair assessment. But those members and myself were convicted never to give up, ever. And with this executive order, I'm going to maintain composure, Mr. President. With this executive order, you have broken down those barriers and allowed us, I have all the faith in the world that this will codify and remain forever. So thank you very much for taking care of your service members and your veterans and giving the members that have been working on this for so long a chance. Thank you, sir.
Well, this one, as I this does solve it for the 3-year, but we'll get that codified very soon.
Absolutely.
Once I sign it, we get them codified, so we'll make it permanent. I have no doubt it's going to be working. Would anybody else like to say something? These two women are so talented.
Well, I love an executive order that says research, 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 because it's ultimately what guides us onto how to optimally do things. And I think that this is what hopefully will start to happen and bringing up change in a system that has been very difficult to modify because of prior experiences. These drugs have unique characteristics that could actually, if we investigate them, can bring us into potential applications that currently we're not thinking about. But if we close the door to science, if we close the door to data, we'll just keep on doing the same thing again and again.
Do you think the door was closed?
It was hard.
Yes.
It was hard to do research.
It's very, very hard. And it's actually just by scheduling as I want, it makes it very
So
difficult.
this is a big move then. It's going to have
It will facilitate
bigger than
research.
just this one thing that we're talking about. That's good. That's good. I'm glad we didn't waste a Saturday morning. Angel, huh? Please.
Yes, Mr. President, this is a much needed, bold move for precision mental health for our veterans and others, and accelerates access to personalized targeted treatments. As you have heard, many veterans and others experiencing mental health disorders, they go through up to years of trial and error, trying one treatment that doesn't work, trying another and not knowing why. My work at Stanford and with my colleagues is to develop brain-based tests that can be measured right now in our VA and other locations that help us understand why these new treatments work and who they'll be most effective.
I know this Negro ain't say love me some zaddy to me. Don't make me lose my religion on you, boy.
For. So with your mandate, we are in a position to really accelerate saving lives of many more people and getting them well sooner. And I believe that with this, the United States will be the first country in the world to treat mental health like we do cancer and like we do many other chronic mental illnesses.
We know the world is. The world is actually watching this because there are a lot of countries that want to do this and they haven't been able to. They're going to be following suit very, very strongly. Thank you very much, both. Anybody else? You guys okay? Everybody, let's sign it, right? Say something?
Mr. President, thank you. This treatment saved my life as well, and so many fellow veterans. Helped me get off opiates. Stopped using a nerve stimulator I hadn't implanted. Sleep for the first time in over 10 years.
Wow.
So thank you.
And you have no doubt, right?
Zero.
Wow. To me, that's the best research of all, frankly.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's my honor. Good, that's a good one. Oh, I wanted to more than that. See that, Joe? You think Biden can do that? He can.
Did he say you think Biden can do something like that? This joker crazy. Hold on, let me go back.
You think Biden can do that? He can. Do you have any questions of the folks? And I think we'll keep it on the subject pretty much. They'll have some questions on Iran, I know that, but this is such an important subject that I'd rather let this just speak for itself. And we'll be talking about Iran later. We have very good conversations going on. It's working out very well. They got a little cute as they have been doing for 47 years. And nobody ever took them on. We took them on.
Man, Trump a real boss, man. Hey, man, everybody was overreacting. Man, they got them close down the street again, man. They shoot everybody in the street. They going crazy. Trump say, look here, man, that was real cute. Yeah, they got a little warship out there. That was kind of cute, though. They got no Navy. They got no military. They got no nothing. Keep playing. Yeah, keep playing. You know, that was cute. You know how it is when it's a regime change and you control the block. You know, everybody ain't going to listen. There's somebody on the side of the street like, nah, man, I don't like this shit. They still keeping it real. But that's okay. We can go the other way if you need to. We can go the other way now. But Trump called it cute. You know, I like that. I like that response. That was real cute.
They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no leaders, they have no nothing. Actually, their leaders it is regime change. You call that enforced regime change. But we're talking to them. They wanted to close up the strait again, you know, as they've been doing for years, and they can't blackmail us. In fact, a lot of the ships are coming up to Texas. I don't know if you know, in Louisiana, the ships are coming up. They got used to it. Maybe they'll keep doing it. It's worked out pretty good. But it's going actually along very well. And we'll see, but we'll have some information by the end of the day. We're talking to them. And, you know, we're taking a tough stand. They've killed a lot of people. A lot of our people have been killed. A lot of your fellow soldiers have been killed over the years by Iran. The roadside bomb. Soleimani, I killed Soleimani.
He was making the explosive form penetrators. They were making them in Iran, bringing them to Iraq and blasting through the vehicles.
Well, he was the father of the roadside bomb, essentially, and he killed a lot of people. And when you see soldiers or others, but soldiers generally walking around with no legs, with no arms, a face that's been smashed, that was Soleimani. It was Iran that did that. So we have a much different view on it than other presidents. They've gotten away with murder for 47 years. They're not getting away with it anymore. Does anybody have any questions with the great professionals, please?
So I wanted to know, could this potentially ever be available through the VA? You know, because I was talking to Wiz over here, you guys went down to Mexico together, but it's really expensive. And this is another drug that's expensive.
We have the right guy, Oz.
A
Let's
lot of
go.
veterans need this.
Why are you good for this question? You're talking about expense.
You know the difference I see in Trump and Biden is that Trump will sit right out there in front of the people that he's working for and answer questions off script. It almost felt like they hid Joe Biden from us for 4 years. It almost like they even Barack Obama, it was like he became a secret or something. He answered a few nonchalant questions and get the hell on. Trump will sit there and talk to you normal, cuss you out if you need to, call you an idiot if you need to, but he'd have a dialogue with you if you would like. He'd answer your questions straight up and down. I think that's why so many people like him. He's relatable. You can. It depends on the energy that you bring. Some may call it not presidential, because that's what we're used to doing in life. We're used to wanting somebody else to live a life that we can't, stay up on a hill that we can't. We want to be able to mess with everybody, but we don't want them to mess with us. You know, you the president though. Okay, well, if telling somebody to kiss your A is wrong, then it's wrong for the president and it's wrong for you. But what we've done in society is we split people up. He's a this, he can say it. He's a comedian. He's a this, he's a street guy. He's a this person. And now you're delegating certain people to have certain rights that others don't. And I think people tired of that shit. I think everybody's just saying whatever they want to say. I think everybody's saying whatever they want to say. They're tired of living off your script of who get to say what. The chosen one. But if he can pull this off with Iran and this conflict is over and everything go back to normal, the gas prices go down and we get the fracking and the pipelines are open and industries are back here, it could be a whole different feeling. It's going to be a whole different situation. You might be able to afford a vacation. After you pay your mortgage and your insurance and your gas, you might be able to afford a vacation. You might be able to fill that buggy up again at the grocery store while somebody's singing you songs and making you scared of Trump. And then while their results are, take away Trump, and their results are the millionaires and the money and the businesses in the cities are hauling ass because the government is sticking their business too much in everyday life because they want to pay for other people to come over here for free. And that's why these cities are run down the way they are. There's no resources. It's going to other people.
availability?
So I spoke to Doug Collins. Obviously, both he obviously pays for the VA, and we pay for Medicare, Medicaid, children's health insurance. Are very focused on the results that the NIH and FDA are going to offer us. We have a mechanism of creating models, CMMI. That might be the wise way to go because we can continue to study the impact. This is such a massive shift in how you deliver care. Imagine if instead of taking a pill a day for your depression, you go through one treatment, but you have to have a few people watching you. It's a very different world. So we're working that through. That's why the president, who I think this is the perfect step to get everything rolling, to deliver on the promise he
What's
made.
timing would you say on that before you know?
We could have a CMMI model that we would announce by the end of this year. But the reason I'm not committing to that now is I want to make sure that the FDA and NIH have time, along with the great scientists, to give us a bit more information about how to deliver care. I'll give you one concrete example. For things like, well, Ibogaine is a little different story, but you wouldn't want 2 people in the room during the treatment. That's true for many of these approaches. That's a very different way of delivering medicine. And so the models that Abe Sutton runs that group for us and has done a great job for the president, that would be probably the fastest way of moving forward and give the VA data so they can make wiser decisions, because Doug Collins is very focused on this.
There's one thing I'd add. There's nothing more expensive right now than the mental health crisis in America. 21% of Americans have a diagnosable mental health condition. The second leading cause of death for young adults today is suicide. Mr. President, antidepressants right now are the most prescribed class medications in the country. Over 20% of women are on an antidepressant.
And is that good in terms of do they work?
There's highly problematic research on the fact that over 20% of U.S. women are on these drugs that are prescribed for life. We have a mental health crisis. And
do they work?
No. They don't. I'm on a couple of them. And
I would not
they don't.
I would not
There might be another attempt on Trump going after this medicine and letting this drug free, because these people will be on these medicines for life. So that's messing with the pharmaceutical company's bottom line. Yeah. But check this out. And this how bad they want y'all New Yorkers and people to stop coming down to Florida and these different places. Look at this.
I live in Florida, and I'd like for you all to kind of grasp this for a second. Florida's full, okay? Stop moving here. We don't, listen, this is a brand new community going up right next to my community. These houses, I think this one here, that one is gonna be like $850,000 for that house. That's insane. That is absolute insanity. Taxes on that are gonna be somewhere around $12K just in property taxes. Your mortgage payment is gonna be somewhere around maybe what, $5 grand, $6 grand? What do you guys do for a living? Honestly, it's not even that nice. It legitimately isn't. That's gonna be like an $800K. Oh, maybe it's that one. That one's gonna be $800K, close to $900,000. No pool. You don't get a pool with that. No, you get this fill dirt, because this used to be like a forest before, and it's just, we're just building. What do you get? Why are you guys moving here? Stop moving here. We're full. Florida's full. Like, we should put a sign at the border that says we're full. Florida's full.
I want to bring back the days when Floridians could drive in the rain. The issue is that out-of-towners from New York, Cali, all them fuck-ass places came down here, but they do not know how to drive in torrential downpours. I need acceleration. The road has not changed. Foot to gas. If otherwise, come out of the bomba clock. My God, on today, we're not Floridians for nothing. Our brains are fried. It's not like we really care about much any fucking way. Drive, bitch. Drive like...
Stop coming down here. We ain't got no more room in the South. None. We can't afford the houses. Y'all taking up the deers, ain't got nowhere to go. The bears ain't got a home no more. Stop coming down here, bro. We'll give y'all the recipe of sweet tea. And then y'all won't get upset at how we drive down here. You adjust to us. We not adjusting to y'all. You adjust to us.
I'm tired of everyone moving to the South, driving up our property values, and then having the audacity.
Did she say bears ain't got nowhere to go? Damn. So y'all done moved down there and affect the animals. They got to tear down the damn rainforest down there to get all these people moving from these states that everybody hollering about the greatest things in the world. And if you talk about it, then somehow you against the black community. I just like results. I don't like flim-flam, flip-flop, all that jibber-jabber, smart-ass talk. I like the results. I like, okay, cool. You say what you gonna do? Cool. I don't know if it's gonna work. Go ahead and do it. And then we get to examine the results of it. And then the examine that I see, upon further examination, I see that nobody don't like that shit. I see everybody hauling tail to everywhere, but I even see the lady the governor who came up with the rules begging people to come back. So it's a shame. You can talk all this identity politics. You can cry, whine, hate Trump, whatever. But at the end of the day, you can't even live up under their own rules and laws that they put in place for you. It's a shame.
To not take on even a lick of our culture, to snarl at it, in fact. Because what do you mean I open the door for you and you don't say thank you? I give you a polite finger wave over the steering wheel, a universal sign of goodwill, and you ignore it. There's an old man driving a tractor slowing down traffic, and you're going to honk at him. Why'd you move here in the first place? If you're not going to be nice, stay cold and miserable wherever you're from. So we're polite to each other. Yeah, we might talk shit behind each other's backs, but we're polite to each other's faces, and that's what matters. So try it sometime. It's not that hard.
Wait. So we got to talk about some local.
She gave it to you raw and uncut. Yeah, we talk about each other behind each other back, but yeah, but in each other faces, we respectful, and that's what counts. I like that because hey, we all don't gotta like each other, but we can still live together and be civil. That's all it's about. Our people watch and talk shit all the time, so I know somebody. Look at this big, tall, ashy motherfucker right here. Look at him. God, he walking like a big ass tree sloth. You know, it's great sometimes to hear what people think about you. It's great. Make you put on lotion. Yeah, y'all made me put on lotion 2 days in a row, and then that shit took too much time. So I'm back at being ashy. So let's keep going in the video.
Down in Florida who are begging Northerners, liberals, people from California, people that are leaving these blue states.
Shout out to Black Conservative Perspective. This is another video from Black Conservative Perspective. East Coast KL says, salute Kwame. Just want to say RIP to the 8 children who were unalived in a mass unaliving in Louisiana. Let's please send up prayers to the family. Yes, man, prayers up. Sorry to hear that. Dang, that's crazy. To my I agree. Take your rudeness back to your state. Man, Floridians is the wrong people to piss off.
Full, right? The South is full. Now, here's the thing, right? I struggle with this because part of me likes to see these blue states lose all of their talent, okay, lose all of their business. All of that stuff coming to the South is a good thing, right? It's a great thing for our economy. However, it's a bad thing if these individuals end up voting blue. If they end up voting Democrat, right? They end up voting for what they fled, right? When they come down here, that's a big problem. But
they damn sure gonna vote what they fled. Oh, that ain't a zebra. Don't change its stripes. They just change locations. So them zebras done located down to Florida, and they gonna flip that state blue. Florida gonna be as blue as a mud. It's gonna be blue as ice in a couple years. Couple midterms, a couple elections. Man, these people just change locations. They're gonna do the same stupid ass thing.
Again, there are residents in Florida, locals, who are saying, hey, enough is enough. We're sick and tired of people moving down here. It is full, which I totally understand this sentiment. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Florida is full, and I don't understand why you Northerners or anyone else aren't comprehending that. We cannot handle any more of you moving here and moving into these crappy Lennar homes, these new built homes that are built for people like you. They are destroying our ecosystem. They are destroying our Florida wildlife. I should not see a family of deer eating a small patch of grass this big on a new build construction site. I have seen farms that ended up having to sell. They're gone, that are turning into apartment complexes. 500 new built homes. You know what else is bad? Go look and see the news article from a couple of weeks ago.
I've been saying these Democrat-ran cities are the worst and most unsafe cities to live in, but now you can see it, how it's affecting other states. You got to be a poorly ran state for your state to be so bad that you're going to ruin another state just by how bad you ran your state. You ran your state so poorly that they can't even keep up with building the homes fast enough. That's crazy. That's crazy, B. He said, ain't nobody tripping on Florida. But no, they're going to, when they get that voter base down there, they're going to vote the same way. They're going to vote blue. I don't know why, but that's what they're going to do. That's number one. Number two, they're moving down there. That's going to shift Florida as a whole. So it's not a good thing. They have torn these cities up, and now they're going to spread out and tear other cities up. Good luck to Texas. Good luck to Nashville, all the hard work y'all put in. Good work to Florida. Good luck, all the hard work y'all put in. The very same people that's moving to Florida was the same people during COVID saying Florida's stupid. They handling everything wrong. Now they all moving to Florida. It's a shame. It is a shame. Results be damned.
$500 new built homes. You know what else is bad? Go look and see the news article from a couple of weeks ago when they said that the Tampa Bay was drained too much and they had to conserve the water. That shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening. But
yeah, so they're moving so fast, right, that they are taking up resources. Resources are scarce, and the supply is not able to match the demand because, again, they're getting the hell out of these blue states. They're fleeing quickly, okay? So they're overwhelming the resources in the states they're moving to, which makes sense. And residents are really upset by this, right? Again, this is because of blue state policy. Blue state policy is what drove these people to move away, to flee.
that is happening because of you guys. What should be a 20, 30-minute drive to work now takes me almost an hour. All because you guys want to move here. We are not trying to be mean. It's not like a mean girls club. Like, oh, you can't sit with us. You can't move here. No. We are losing the beauty of Florida because of you. Because of all of you wanting to move here. So the next post that I see that says, convince my husband to move to Florida, I will not. And neither will the rest of the comments. Any Florida native will not be on your side about that. The people who are in your comments saying, oh, don't listen to these comments, are the ones that already moved here and are a part of the problem.
I mean, hey, I understand where she's coming from. I get it, right? I get it. You know, when you got a bunch of people.
Your so-called president is appointed to start a civil war or World War IV, and he knows he's getting nowhere except more of these foolishness. Okay.
You know, move into a place, things change very fast, right? And people are adverse to changes that are happening so quickly, right? Especially when you talk about resources being taken up. You have the beauty going away. You have all of these neighborhoods, these developments that are coming up so fast that it's disrupting the wildlife, right? It's taken away from the beauty of living in a place like Florida. And again, it's not just Florida. It's happening all across the South. We're talking about Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, right? In the Midwest. Yeah. People are moving fast, right? They're moving so fast that it's disruptive.
Stop listening to all those magazines, all the news articles, and all the influencers. Quit moving to South Carolina. The entire state is not Charleston. The entire Charleston.
I love her goddamn accent. I can't slow it down, but I love that accent. That's not Charleston. Let me slow it down for 1 second. You can't beat a country ass accent.
Charleston County is not Charleston. The #1 city and state in the world that you are seeing is all King Street. It is one singular street, and you cannot afford to live there.
Hey,
well, man, see, you can't practice how to talk like that. That is hilarious. That's a country ass accent.
I gotta tell you, Charleston's pretty nice. It's one of my favorite cities in the U.S. Period. Right? I love Charleston, so I can definitely see why a lot of people who want to move there. It's a beautiful city.
So these are some extra reasons, other than not being able to afford shit, that you should not move to South Carolina. #1, those little yappy dogs that y'all love so much, the alligators are going to eat them. And we are not going to blame the alligator because the alligators do not just live in the water. They live everywhere. They pay taxes. Our roads, you are going to snap both axles in your car and shit every single tooth in your mouth. Going da-da-da-da-da. SCDOT, vacation days, 6 days out of the week. And the other day is Sunday, so they don't work. The wildlife, if you want to be picked up and carried off by a mosquito or chased around your house by a palmetto bug, okay, maybe this might be the place for you. But if not, go to Nebraska. Don't even get me started on people complaining about hurricane season when they move here. We don't have a hurricane season. We get a hurricane whenever the hurricane wants to come. And we know about it. We're fine with it. Y'all, people moving from Ohio wondering why King Street is flooded during a rainstorm. Honey, you are under sea level. Of course you're going to flood. Somebody spits too hard at a party and it's going to flood. However, I'm done yelling for the morning. But yeah, quit moving here. We are happy for you to visit. We will show you around. Do not move here. We are full.
Yeah, we full. We full down here, right? And it's terrible, right? It's terrible. You don't want to move here. You don't want to be here. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Stop. I love it. I really do. It's hilarious.
I don't know who in Ron DeSantis' circle needs to hear this, but somebody needs to hear this. Fam, listen, as of right now, I'm seeing a lot of people coming into Florida, right? Basically trying to stay out here, do what they do. And, that's totally fine. But my thing is, a lot of people are coming out here, right, with their same fucking bullshit mindset as far as voting blue, no matter who. Right. Like the New Yorkers that are coming down here, right? The transplants. They finished ruining New York. Now they're coming down here. I'm seeing a lot of Californians coming down here. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Like, if you guys come down here, you should know exactly what needs to be done. You vote red. That's the thing. You vote red. Because even with that, bro, that's just high-key pissing me off too with a lot of people coming down here because every fucking development.
Man, yo, that's crazy. I told you they expect those people to vote blue, but unfortunately for this brother, they not. I mean, they're gonna expect them to vote red, but unfortunately for them, they not. Their soul wouldn't sit right doing it. It's embedded in them to do what they doing. They lifelong Democrats. They're not gonna cut. They'll learn the laws, but they're gonna vote blue. They just like Stephen A. They might say one or two negative things, but they still want to get to the cookout. But yeah, so they're going to be in y'all cities, bringing all that ideology with them, and then y'all cities going to look different. Y'all kids going to come home talking different. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like everything is a development, bro. And that shit is pissing me off because the Florida that I was raised in is not the Florida that I see today. Every time that I'm going, even when I'm going back home towards the Everglades area, bro, like there's so much fucking shit popping up, bro. We're going to have to start limiting people or figure something out, bro, because I'm fucking tired of that shit, bro. Like next thing you know, it's going to be Floridians leaving here because shit is not being able, like we can't afford shit or something like that. Like, bro, come on, bro.
Yeah. Democrats are charging an exit tax. Maybe red states should charge an entry tax, right? We should have a tariff, right? We should have a tariff.
Shit, you might as well have a tariff. They got to pay to leave. They should have to pay to come up in there. Because they're going to drain Florida, boy. They're going to drain the swamp for real. Joe Biden been telling y'all for years they going to, no, that was Trump said they're going to drain the swamp. Oh, that didn't land. That was Trump. Red states way worse. Every level, crime, corruption. Can you come up here and show me the states that are red, that are worse than ever? There's a few though. Do you want to come up here with your evidence of a comparison between red states and blue states? He said, laugh out loud. Oops. Hey, look, that's the problem with being an educator. That's the beauty that I'm not an educator. I can make those mistakes. I don't give a damn. I don't call myself an expert. Listen, Fauci called himself an expert. Fucked up 1,000 times and y'all ain't said nothing. So hush. We just gonna put y'all back in chain. Yeah, we gonna put y'all back in chain. We always talk about what somebody said. You ain't black. I'm gonna drop the link for him in a minute.
We should collect a fee for all these liberals that come into the South, right? If you come to the South, you're fleeing a blue state because of high taxation, right? We should do very specific Oregon, right? You up for out of we're gonna with another right? Trying to we just can't take. We got to agree, and that's a huge. They're almost as bad as the illegals.
Is calling for wiping out a civilization. Is calling for wiping out an entire civilization
the
bad or
Iranian
good?
terrorist regime.
But that's not what he said.
Of course, it's bad. That is not what he is calling for. He wasn't calling for genocide.
Your entire civilization
it was targeted
will die.
towards the Iranian terrorist regime.
All right.
It was targeted
Agree
towards
to
the Iranian
disagree.
terrorist regime.
Agree
This
to
is
disagree. The
typical
book is
CNN. This is typical CNN.
Okay.
If you want to compare the President of the United States to the university presidents who failed to call for the condemnation of calling for the genocide of Jews, that's on you, Jake. The world saw how morally equivocating those university presidents were. Yes, you're the one that is it's
No.
not a comparison. So if you
I'm
want to
just
make that
asking you if you
comparison,
have the
that's
same
on
standard
CNN.
for
That
somebody.
is not the comparison. Of course, genocide is bad across the board, Jake. President Trump effectively brought the Iranians to the table. He effectively delivered a ceasefire, and he's going to effectively deliver peace to the Middle East to stop, frankly, the killing of the Iranian terrorist regime, which kills their own people and has created havoc across the Middle East.
So we got to talk about this pretty amazing take.
You know what's crazy? They talk like these Iranian people are some nice, sweet, innocent little people. These people whip their women in public. These people, if a woman say, hey, I don't like what y'all got going on, do you know in Iran, they will tie that woman up and beat her like a dog in the street. And this is what these politicians are losing their mind over. A place that'll take a woman in the middle of the street and beat her like a drum. They'll unalive you for talking against the government. Don't dress, don't cover up your whole face and body the right way. Violation. That's crazy, man.
Condemnation, but a president of the United States who actually
You don't think it's worthy of condemnation? You don't, Jake, you don't think it's worthy of condemnation of students that are targeting Jewish students, that are physically assaulting them, that are spitting in their face, that are drawing swastikas on their doors?
I don't
These
need a
students who
lesson
have
on.
to hire security.
I don't
they
need,
have to,
I don't
well,
need a lesson
but
on what it's like to be a Jewish student.
like those university
No,
presidents.
I'm not equivocating at all. I'm not equivocating
with those university presidents.
I'm
what I've
asking
said
if
about
you're
President Trump's tweets is it has been very targeted.
No,
I am not equivocating. I have been crystal
No, not
clear
when it comes to
in my
college kids,
condemnation
but when it comes to a president threatening to.
Man, this is some effeminate shit. They got this grown man talking over this woman when she's trying to complete a sentence. This is a bad look. They always talking about watch CNN. And there's a through line every time I watch CNN. Is somebody trying to make sure they cut off the conversation? It's not a fair and balanced conversation. Never. It's one side get out their complete thought. The other side, they hurry up and talk over. Have the moderator cut off. It's weird. That's not, people are tired of that shit. We want to hear both sides of the coin. If a penny ain't worth but a cent, but it still got two sides, then why are you trying to block off all the information? We want to hear and see it all. These people say unalive too. Salute. Women in Iran love that Trump intervened because they were being beaten for wanting freedom. It's only white liberals here that were upset. And Paul is a white man saying that. Salute to you, Paul. This is a shame. They crying for a regime that don't got no respect for their women, hold them in very low regard, will unalive people just for a different opinion of the government. It's crazy. Fox News, all of those stations have a little bit of cutting their guests off, but with CNN, it's a downright, we're going to overtalk you because we don't want to hear your opinion. I don't even know what the point is of having guests on if you just going to overtalk them the whole time. Scott Jennings, bless his heart, he had to hit gut punches and knockout swings every time he talked because he ain't going to get but 2 words out.
You're
not
equivocating
equivocating.
with those university presidents.
I'm
what I've
asking
said
if
about
you're
President Trump's
equivocating.
tweets is it has been very targeted.
No,
I am not equivocating. I have been crystal
No,
clear
not when it comes to
in my
college kids,
condemnation
but when it comes to a
of
president threatening to wipe out an entire civilization. I'm saying this, you're
He is
applying two different
targeting the
standards
Iranian
here.
terrorist regime. Everyone seems to understand that, Jake, except for CNN. And what did it do? It brought the Iranians to the table, delivering a ceasefire, and frankly, bringing this terrorist regime to its knees. It has been very important for us to address, frankly, this conflict that has been going on for decades, the terrorist regime that has not only hijacked the Strait of Hormuz, but has been the #1 state sponsor of
Yeah,
terror.
I'm not supporting the
so,
regime.
yes, the president delivers tough diplomacy, but what he has delivered is ultimately we will see peace in the Middle East better off.
Yeah, I think that CNN is supporting the regime. Let's be real, right? We got Democrats, leftists, black pillars on the right, and the liberal media all basically supporting the Iranian regime in some shape or form, right? Actively rooting against the United States of America. But what's happening here, right, is that CNN is trying to get Elise Stefanik with a gotcha, right? With a, oh, you're a hypocrite. You have a lot to say about college students shouting from the river to the sea, right? But yet you have nothing to say about the president calling to have the Iranian civilization wiped out if they do not comply to our demands. Now, what Jake Tapper fails to understand is that we're currently in a war with Iran. At least put it this way, we're in a non-conventional war, okay, a military operation. And when you're talking about warfare, everything is on the table. It is totally appropriate to threaten a country that you're actively at war with so that you don't
No. It's not appropriate to threaten them. They can yell out, unalive to America, unalive to America. They can yell that out, no problem. But we can't say nothing in return. And this is what I don't understand. Like, I can understand the white liberals crying and pretending, but us black folks, we don't give a damn about nobody else when you threaten our loved one. I'm sorry. I grew up in a place where if you threaten somebody's dog or their cat, they gonna go above you. They gonna stretch. If you threaten their dog, they gonna threaten your dog and your cat. Cause you know, from the hood, you got to go above what somebody do to you. You got to get 2 for 1. So I don't know how you gonna get black people to complain with you, cause we with the shits. If you threaten our kids, we gonna threaten yours, and that's just the way it goes. But we might not say that out loud. So I wish Trump would have shut the hell up. But I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend and cry with you. I'm not. I would rather bring a conflict to your front door than mine. That's just my fair and honest opinion. I would rather it be no conflict, but if it's gonna be conflict, I would rather it be at your doorstep than mine. I'm sorry. When all the talking is done, I would rather it be at your doorstep than mine. That's just me. Now, I know everybody else gonna lie. KB, CNN, been done. Salute. I know everybody else gonna lie because they so politically correct. But boy, look at here. You threaten one of mine, hey, look. It is what it is.
Experience any more casualties of your own people, right? Trying to achieve objectives that are, good for this country. Yeah, it is appropriate to put everything on the table, right? You don't take anything off of the table, right? Including potentially wiping out a whole country. Well, why is that? It's not because that's what you want to do, or not because it's something that you would actually do. I don't think that President Trump would actually do that. I personally believe that you say that as a maximalist threat, right? In order to get compliance. And as Elise Stefanik laid out here, ultimately, that is what led to the ceasefire. The ceasefire came after the president made that threat. And now it seems as if we're moving closer towards some type of deal, even though we don't really know, right? A lot of it is
and Trump is the very right type of person to make a Dulo twist threat like that, to pretend like you're going to do something like that. But his reputation, they might have believed it. And let's not act like that ain't what we do. Destroy civilization. Don't act like we ain't paid North Korea. Don't act like we don't just blow up Iraq and then pay them and build them back up. Give them a couple $1 billion to build their military back up. That's what we always do. Rough you up, steal your resource, give you some money. Don't show those grave sites. We don't want this shit on news. That's it.
a fluid situation. It seems as if there's a power struggle going on between the civilian / diplomatic leadership and the IRGC, the military leadership. So we really don't know. Regardless, the president's threats during a time of warfare, I think is appropriate to get compliance, right? It is what it is. It's not that we would actually do that. It's just more about them knowing that, hey, if you don't comply, something very, very, very bad is going to happen, right? Your civilization is probably not going to be wiped out, but you know, a lot of people are probably going to wish that they comply, right? That is what the president is doing. Okay, so when you talk about that, I think that
that's what I think. Genocide
knows how to handle the media for sure.
I just think a call for genocide on college campus and a call for genocide made by the president of the United States, like they're both bad. Right? I mean, that's what I think.
I've condemned genocide across the board. The difference with those university presidents is they couldn't answer the simple, direct question, just calling for the genocide of Jews. President Trump didn't call for genocide, Jake. You were putting those words in his mouth. He is engaging in diplomatic back and forth.
Your entire civilization will die.
And it's the terrorist regime, Jake. He's targeting the terrorist regime. You can continue the decades long, but you're adding genocide. That's not what
What is wiping out an entire civilization?
In the case of the university presidents, I specifically asked them about calling for the genocide of Jews. Again, the president is correct to call out the Iranian terrorist regime, to bring them to the table, to force a ceasefire, and frankly, to free the Middle East from this largest state sponsor of terror that has not only killed American lives, but has targeted Israel and the United States of America, including assassination attempts against our elected officials.
Is calling for wiping out a civilization? Is calling for wiping out an entire civilization
the
bad or good?
Terrorist regime.
Well, it's not about if it's bad or good, right? They're two totally different situations, Jake. Snake, okay? Has Snake ever complained about the Iranians chanting death to America, right? Has he ever complained about that? Has he ever...
Not one of them ever got on TV and complained about Iran saying death to America. Not one of them. They don't care, man. They so against America. Well, they so against Trump. They so against Trump that anybody can say anything to us, boy. Boy, goodness gracious. They want us to be some little weenie dolls while everybody else can say whatever they want to say to us. That's kind of how they do me over here on YouTube. They want to talk about your kids. They want to talk about your people. You talk about their kids. Then they say, oh, you just talk about kids. No, nigga, under a normal circumstance, I wouldn't say anything. But you better watch your mouth. It's crazy, man. Up is down now, and down is up.
Went on national television and said this is wrong, that you shouldn't call for death for America. No, he's not nearly as upset about the threats that Iran has made against us, right? And they have been responsible for the deaths of our service members. Yeah, he should be upset with Iran and their threats to commit genocide against this country, right? Since he's upset about so-called genocide threats, right? It's just so funny how these people operate, right? It's always holding Trump to a standard that they're not willing to hold anybody else to, okay? And again, the whole point of this interview is to try to get a gotcha, trying to make comparisons or to two different situations that aren't really comparable, right? Having, these domestic extremists run around, harassing students, that is different than...
Appreciate it, Ballhead Wayne. He said thank you for great content, my brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Still can't trust no nigga with no goddamn hell on their face. I just want y'all to know that. Still can't trust them. But salute to you, Ballhead Wayne.
And an active warfare situation where you had a president of the United States using a maximalist threat. Those are two totally different things, two totally different situations. And Snake Tapper trying to compare the two is just silly. It's silly. The whole point is to try to get Elise Stefanik on a hypocrisy point, but it's just not working, right? It's desperation.
But that's not what he said.
Of course, it's bad. That is not what he is calling for. He wasn't calling for genocide.
Your entire civilization
it was targeted towards the Iranian terrorist regime. It was targeted.
Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. The book is CNN.
This is typical CNN.
Okay.
If you want to compare the president of the United States to the university presidents who failed to call for the condemnation of calling for the genocide of Jews, that's on you, Jake. The world saw how morally equivocating those university presidents.
That's what you're doing. You're trying to compare the two. That's exactly what you're doing. Like, come on, there, Snake. She got you. She got you, Snake. She got you. Look at his face. He knows he been got, right? He's like, oh damn, my gotcha's not working here.
Where, yes, you're the one that is it's not a comparison. So if you want to make that comparison,
if you have the same standard
CNN,
for somebody.
That is not the comparison.
Yeah, but you can't ask her if she has the same standard but something that is not comparable, right? Clearly, you're trying to make a comparison, which is why you're asking her if she's going to hold college students shouting genocidal threats, right, to the president, actively dealing with a warfare type situation, right? A military operation. Those are two totally different things that he's trying to compare. And then he's trying to pretend like he's not comparing the two because he knows how silly it sounds for him to compare the two. Then he's trying to pretend like that's not what he's doing because Elise Stefanik is actively calling out how silly it is for him to make this comparison. Hilarious.
But when you like a guy like this, you could never be wrong. So even when you're wrong, you're right. You just play it up, get more snarky, get more disrespectful, and lean into the disrespect. Lean into your education, talk about something else, birds and the bees, trees. But you never apologize. You never say you're wrong. That's what these people do. This shit crazy.
Absolutely hilarious.
Of course, genocide is bad across the board, Jake. President Trump effectively brought the Iranians to the table. He effectively delivered a ceasefire, and he is going to effectively deliver peace to the Middle East to stop, frankly, the killing of the Iranian terrorist regime, which kills their own people and has created havoc across the Middle East.
We have people who actually supported the strikes against Iran, Iranian Americans and Iranian advocates on the show all the time, and they all were horrified when President Trump called for a genocide of the Iranians, to quote unquote, wipe out your entire civilization.
He's not calling for a genocide of the Iranians. It's targeted towards the Iranian terrorist regime. It's been consistent throughout, Jake. And again, that has brought the Iranians to the table. And let's talk about the Iranians have killed tens of thousands of their own people.
Yeah,
so if you want to prop up the Iranian terrorist regime, that's on you. The president has been very effective in calling out the Iranian terrorist regime.
Got it.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not defending anything.
Here.
I'm not defending anything. I'm saying it's all bad, calling for genocide, calling for wiping out civilizations, whether it's some knucklehead on a college campus or Mahmoud Khalil or this person or that person or President Trump, all of it's bad. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, thank you so much.
President Trump was not calling for genocide. Shame on CNN for saying that.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. He basically quit, bro. He quit.
Man, hey, listen, they got the Pope involved. I found the video on my phone. They got the Pope involved in this, y'all. The Pope is political now. I thought the Pope was supposed to goddamn just stand there, look mysterious, look like he ready to just, never mind. But I thought the Pope was just supposed to just stand there and chill. I ain't know the Pope was supposed to, do what he did. Talk about politics, talk about Trump.
Comments on the Pope over the weekend?
I probably say the Pope needs to keep his business into leading his flock, so to speak, leading the church, and probably stay out of the political arena. He doesn't need to be getting involved in the political arena. Go lead your church. Stay out of the politics. Right? We didn't elect the Pope to be the president or be the anything else. So just keep his nose in the church's business and stay out of the political arena.
100% political. Okay, this is all about trying to hurt President Trump's vote during the midterms, and Republicans during the midterms. If you look at what play out the dots here. David Axelrod goes and visits.
Oh my God, the arrogance of this. There's a billion Catholics in the world. They're all worried about Trump's election in the midterms.
Clearly, I'm striking a chord here.
But let's let him finish the thought.
David Axelrod goes and visits Pope Leo last week. They're talking about Obama going to visit Pope Leo. Pope Leo's from Chicago. All of a sudden, now Pope Leo is out attacking Trump and the policies of the United States and Israel in a way, in a much more forceful way. You have 3 cardinals come out today attacking the immigration policy. This is all about trying to get the Catholic vote against Trump. And let me add one more thing.
Flaws in this argument.
No, there's no flaws. There's no flaws.
Including that none of the
Axelrod is the chief strategist for Obama.
He's also from Chicago, but
the Pope is saying he's not political. Why is he meeting with the chief strategist for both Obama's campaigns and in the White House? Oh, really? Would he have a possible reason to meet with the chief?
Hold on a second.
Only on CNN where the moderator argue with all the guests. She supposed to be the moderator. She talk more than the damn guest. Jesus. She supposed to say, break it up, guys, you go. Break it up, guys, you go. She break it up for her to go. Jesus Christ.
With the Pope before the Francis, Pope Francis met with J.D. Vance. Pope Francis was extremely critical.
J.D. Vance is Vice President of the United States.
Hold on a second. Pope Francis was extremely critical of Trump. He was extremely critical of the immigration rhetoric from Trump and his allies. He still met.
Let me add one more thing that Pope Leo's not critical.
What's the conspiracy?
Because let me ask you this. Why has Pope Leo been, when Iran killed 30,000 plus of their own citizens, he didn't call out the Iranian regime at all. He said we need to stop violence. That was very
Great point. Great point. See, that's why they try to overtalk these people. Now, I guarantee you, I didn't see this video, but I guarantee you this lady finna start talking because they don't like to hear the other side of the coin. If this Pope is so righteous and all that, he calling out people, why he ain't called out Iran?
What's the conspiracy?
Because let me ask you this.
What's
Why
the
has Pope Leo been, when Iran killed 30,000 plus of their own citizens, he didn't call out the Iranian regime at all. He said we need to stop violence. That was very milquetoast. That wasn't calling out the Iranian regime, and yet he's calling out the United States and Israel.
War is never the solution. Jesus was a peacemaker.
But he didn't call out the Iranian regime.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up today, man. We got to check out a couple clips from Bill Maher, but I wanted to speak on this opening clip here.
And this was on A Righteous Perspective. Y'all go sub up, check them out. A Righteous Perspective.
People act like there were not wars waged all throughout the Bible, all throughout the Word of God. There's wars that have raged, right? And typically, it was God's chosen people going in, taking over the land of those that were considered, inferior, non-believers, so forth and so on. Here we have a regime that is so wicked, has been wicked for a very long time. I mean, they've taken out 40,000 of their own people. There are right now, there is at least 4 to 6 people who are set to be executed in the very near future. And you get crickets, from the Pope Leo. You get this guy out here, trying to defend, and people got this misconception that, Jesus and God is just, these extremely nice people and they would do no harm. But at the same time, there's been a lot of harm and protection of God's people. And when you look at a wicked regime, you look at this wicked regime that exists, over there, and what we'll just let's call it what it is, Persia, who has been just ravaging its people for a very long time. The people have been fighting the Pope. You know what I'm saying? But antithetical.
Critical America, I really do. See, the liberals suddenly love the Pope. The Pope, who 2 weeks ago was all in the headlines. You know why? Exorcisms. Yeah, this big thing about we got to exorcise. The demons are all around, the devils. That's who the fucking Pope is, okay? A guy who does exorcism, doesn't believe in gay marriage, no women priests. But now, because he's feuding with Trump, MSNBC loves this guy. He got a big speech on the floor from Chuck Schumer. Eric Swalwell sent him a dick pic.
Pause. Whoa. Now, at least Bill Maher kept it real this time. At least he made a joke that had a lot of truth in it. You just hated the Pope. Now, all of a sudden, you like him? All you got to do is say F Donald Trump. So that's why I've been opening up my lives saying F Donald Trump. I want people to like me again. F Donald Trump. Yeah, that's all you got to say. Everybody will like you again. F Donald Trump. Can't stand him. God, dog.
A big surge, no women priests, but Neville. That's who the fucking Pope is, okay? Exorcism. See, the liberals suddenly love the Pope. The Pope, who 2 weeks ago was all in the headlines. You know why? Exorcisms. Yeah, this big thing about we got to exorcise. The demons are all around, the devils. That's who the fucking Pope is, okay? A guy who does exorcism, doesn't believe in gay marriage, no women priests. But now, because he's feuding with Trump, MSNBC loves this guy. He got a big speech on the floor from Chuck Schumer. Eric Swalwell sent him a dick pic.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we got to look at the clip from we got to look at the clip from Chuck Schumer, because Chuck Schumer, whenever he gets a chance to take a shot at the administration, we know what they stand for. They do not believe in the Word of God. They do not believe the principle. They do not believe in God's divine order. But this is an opportunity to take a shot at the administration, to take a shot at the president. I want you guys to hear from Chuck.
Pope Leo, the first American pope, by calling him, among other things, weak on crime and too liberal. What is going on in that man's head? He said this Trump said this in response to the Pope's comments during Easter Sunday, calling for peace. It's the same Donald Trump who has called the Bible his favorite book on the campaign trail, but can't name a single verse, who sells a Trump-branded presidential election of the Bible made in China for $100, and who we all remember held up a Bible in front of St. John's Episcopal Church here in D.C. after ordering protesters for racial justice tear gassed. Maybe Trump has forgotten what's written in that Bible, or more likely, he never knew it in the first place. Pope Leo.
Look at that. The first American Pope out of Chicago, who has met with, folks from the Obama camp, has met with folks from the Biden camp. He did take some time to meet with J.D. Vance. But when you think about what he said, and you think about the old tweets that has now been put out there by the president, and I'm going to show you those here in a quick second, but when you think about those old tweets that came out, it just shows you, that this particular Pope, and again,
it just shows you that we're going to have to put robots in the jury booth. Because when somebody don't like somebody, they will go out of their way. In today's society, people be on demon time now, just trying to prove and show other people why and how they don't like someone. People will spend all day trying to get other people not to like you because they don't. It is weird. They will create narratives. They'll run their Gestapo tactics, and most people will fall for it. Most people actually fall for it. There's only a select few people that's going to rock with you. That's why people stay quiet. That's why people stay under control. They don't want to lose their family. They don't want to lose their livelihood. They don't want to be shamed in their community.
And no disrespect to the Catholics, no disrespect to the Catholic folks that support this channel, but this particular Pope is a liberal. Let's just call it what it is. And we've said all the time, that liberalism, progressivism, and the word of God are antithetical to each other. So how this particular individual has decided to, back, the far left progressive, ideology and agenda, for the life of me, I don't really understand it. And honestly, I think, that those that, definitely practice the Catholic faith should definitely, have some questions. But, as my friend Jeff said the other day, there's been good popes, there's been bad ones, and it's just, let this person, do his time and play itself out. And, you hope that the next one, that is appointed, will be better than this one. But I want you guys to see the old tweets that they thought was wiped from the internet, but people got to understand that the internet is forever. You put it out there, it's out there.
Check this out. This is wonderful. The first American Pope, Pope Leo XIV, born Robert Francis Prevost in Chicago, thought his old @Dr. Prevost Twitter account full of anti-Trump, anti-JD Vance, and anti-America First retweets had vanished forever the moment white smoke rose over the Sistine Chapel on May 8th last year. But nothing disappears on the internet. Trump dug them up, reshared the hits on Truth Social with a blunt "not good," and launched an all-out war, calling the Pope weak on crime and terrible on foreign policy. Pope Leo fired back from Algiers, claiming he's not political and just preaching the gospel of peacemakers. Yet days earlier, he'd met privately with Obama's chief strategist, David Axelrod, another Chicago guy. Coincidence? Sure. His old retweets blasting Trump's immigration policies and Vance's ordered loves theology say otherwise. Lifelong Catholic border czar Tom Homan wasn't buying it. He wished the Pope would stay out of immigration, fix his own church, and remember the horrors of open borders, rape girls, dead kids in trailers, while the Vatican sits safe behind its own massive walls. You can't lecture America on borders while hiding behind impenetrable ones yourself. The gospel has always been political, and this Pope walks straight into a fight he can't win.
That's one of the things that I don't think people realize is that how political the Bible is. We are supposed to base, our lives, and our morality based off of, what the Bible would say is moral and just in the eyes of God. And so many of us, we've gotten away from it. But, I really think that we need to turn right back because, our lives would improve. The country would improve if we could get right back to what our forefathers wanted in the sense of, this country being built off of the word of God. If we could get back to that, we'd be better off. But I want you guys to see this because it just showcases the hypocrisy, one of the left, but two of this particular individual here who obviously, has a bone to pick with the administration and the administration's policies and agenda.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He hit us thick of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID, and in many cases they're outside 10 feet apart and they were arrested. So we don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
Yeah. I mean, you judge the tree by the fruit that it bears. You judge the, individual by their actions and the words that come out of their mouth. And, we're seeing this, and the president is absolutely right.
No, they hate Trump, but I don't understand why. I don't like some of the things he says, but I understand what he's trying to get done. But let me show y'all this. That singer David, DV, whatever his name is, David, he got arrested on that. He got charged for unaliving this young lady.
TMZ videos capturing the tense moments the singer, whose real name is David Burke, was arrested Thursday.
All right, so the gate is locked. You want to open the gate?
And new footage obtained by the California Post showing police escorting him down the street. The arrest coming months after police say they've been gathering evidence on Burke. And more than 2 years since Celeste, just a 7th grader at the time, went missing in this Southern California neighborhood. Officials making the gruesome discovery last September when they say workers noticed an odor coming from a Tesla sitting in an impound lot registered to Burke. That's when police found Reva's body, dismembered and decaying. They say she'd likely been dead for weeks. They found her one day after what would have been her 15th birthday.
That's a shame. We during this time we've been talking about sex trafficking and what the industry do to these women and how they grab up these young girls and they go up missing. Just so happened this girl comes up. She's linked to a up-and-coming popular singer who is now arrested. This girl was missing in the 7th grade? 7th grade. Unalived at 15. This is crazy. What is he doing around a girl that young? Who was around him while he was around her? What's going on, sis? She was only 14? That's crazy. But this is what's going on in this industry, this demonic music industry. This is what's going on. But we can holler about Trump all day. When you go into these cities and see how it's ran. That's all I'm saying, people. When you look at these news stories, you be like, what in the hell is going on? Now, Trump don't warn them people. This your last warning. Now, I don't think he's talking on this. This your last warning. Last time.
Breaking news, US President Donald Trump has issued a new warning threatening to target Iran's infrastructure if the regime doesn't accept his deal. Writing on Truth Social, Iran decided to fire bullets yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz, a total violation of our ceasefire agreement. Many of them were aimed at a French ship and a freighter from the United Kingdom. That wasn't nice, was it? My representatives are going to Islamabad in Pakistan. They'll be there tomorrow evening for negotiations. Iran recently announced that they were closing the strait, which is strange because our blockade has already closed it. They're helping us without knowing, and they are the ones that lose the closed passage, $500 million a day. The United
I like it. I like it. Trump got charisma. told them straight up and down, y'all helping us. Without even knowing it, you're helping us.
That they were closing the strait, which is strange because our blockade has already closed it. They're helping us without knowing, and they are the ones that lose with the closed passage, $500 million a day. The United States loses nothing. In fact, many ships are headed right now to the US, Texas, Louisiana and Alaska to load up compliments of the IRGC, always wanting to be the tough guy. We're offering a very fair and reasonable deal, and I hope they take it, because if they don't, the United States is going to knock out every single power plant and every single bridge in Iran. No more Mr. Nice Guy. They'll come down fast, they'll come down easy, and if they don't take the deal, it will be my honour to do what has to be done, which should have been done to Iran by other presidents for the past 47 years. It's time for the Iran killing machine to end.
From the Pentagon, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, says the United States has total control of the operation in the Strait of Hormuz. What's at stake for Iran?
In breaking news.
Joining me now from London is Talk TV host Mark Dolan. Mark, great to see you again. What's been happening for your weekend?
Well, the Prime Minister is
Welcome back. It's great to have your company. Tensions are rising again with the Strait of Hormuz now closed. It comes as Australia is strengthening defence ties by signing a deal with Japan around new frigates. Joining me now is Sky News defence expert Peter Jennings to break down what these developments mean. Peter, thank you for your time this evening. News this morning that the Strait of Hormuz is closed again, and also shots reportedly fired by Iran at ships. What's your reaction to these developments?
I think what we're seeing, Jamie, is behind the scenes there's been a struggle for control in Tehran, and the Revolutionary Guards have won. At the start of the weekend, we had the Iranian foreign minister saying the straits would be open. Now they're closed. That announcement came from the Revolutionary Guards. So you can see where the power is resting. And I think what it means is that we need to consider the risk of further conflict breaking out. If the Revolutionary Guards Navy element are now firing on tankers, that is going to require the US, because they're the only ones there, to engage in responses. We know they're already looking for sea mines. So I think the potential for accidents and incidents, conflict to become more of a feature in the Straits once again is there. And it just shows you the war's not over. Both sides might wish it to be so, but the conflict is not over because both sides have very different views about the outcome. So that's where we're at. And I think that means, crude oil is not going to be flowing through the Strait of Hormuz anytime soon.
Peter, I read an interesting piece in the New York Times, which was really highlighting how Iran's cheap drones that cost around that $35,000 to $50,000 mark are being used to overwhelm much more expensive Western defence systems. In your opinion, is this changing the way that wars are actually fought nowadays?
Yes, it's dramatically changed the nature of war.
Hey, Mel, you wait to see what the oil prices go to, what gas prices go to once this war is done, and we got all that oil from Venezuela, like Paul is telling you, and the strait is back open and rocking and rolling, because we gonna get some of that oil too before it's all over with. We gonna get some of that oil too before it's over with. This is a power play, man. Yes, they fighting over money. They fighting. Trump is trying to position America into the best position we could be in. It's all about the money, baby. It's all about the Benjamins.
We've seen that, of course, in Ukraine, where both sides are using very large numbers of drones. Air defence has in some ways become much more technically capable of shooting things down, but it's the volume of the drones, as you point out, which becomes the problem. And for a small defence force like Australia, we need a strategy to work out how we can deal with large numbers of relatively cheap weapons being flung at us in different ways.
We haven't done that yet. The overwhelming Australian focus is on buying small numbers of very expensive equipment. And I think we now need a bit of a strategic rethink to work out, well, what can we do in the real world where that just might not be a...
And once they figure out that mine situation, well, you ain't got to go that close to Iran, it's over with.
affordable or sustainable for very long.
Now, President Trump has mentioned again about Australia not helping in the Strait of Hormuz. Here he is.
Happy with Australia because they were not there when we asked them to be there. So Australia was another one. They were not there having to do with Hormuz.
And Trump has said it a few other times as well. Now, the Albanese government has said that they've never received a request. And I just wondered, do you think that this is an example of just different leadership styles and that Trump would have just assumed an ally would pick up the phone and offer help instead of just waiting for a call? Like, do you think Australia should have been a little bit more proactive in helping an ally?
Absolutely. I mean, I think what we had as a Prime Minister who's scared to talk to Donald Trump, he seems to think it's easier to talk to the Chinese Premier than it is to talk to the American President. And when you have a problem like this, a failure to communicate, to quote a movie, the right thing to do would have been for Albanese to get on the phone. Instead of which, what he's doing is he's sort of playing this game about, well, we haven't received the gold embossed invitation card for our Navy to go to the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, what nonsense. As close allies, and we like to think of ourselves as being one of the closest allies of the United States in the world. Surely the President and the Prime Minister can get on the phone and talk this one through and work out what we need.
I don't think that's too much to ask. If we allies and you see that I'm in conflict, what the hell I got to call you for? It's up. You know what I mean? It's up. If it's up, each other, you call me. If my somehow call me, it's up. He want to see what's up. Come on, Australia, y'all dropped the ball on this one.
To do rather than going on about the protocol of who said what to whom. It's crazy. And I think at base what it shows is that the PM is scared to deal with Trump.
Now, let's head over now to Japan, where Australia has signed a $10 billion contract to receive 3 Japanese-built frigates. And the first one is set to arrive in 2029 with the next 2 around that 2034 mark. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you make of this deal.
Well, I think the selection of that Japanese design happened a few months ago, and it was the right choice. It reflected the most modern, capable warship which was available to purchase. And I think it's also the right outcome that the first 3 of these, at least, are going to be built in Japan from a shipyard which has been building these ships for some time for the Japanese Navy. The big problem, Jamie, is going to be when this intellectual property gets transferred over to the Henderson shipbuilding precinct in Western Australia in about half a decade's time. And in theory, we are going to then build the remaining 7 or 8 ships, which will come after the first 3. That's going to be hard. Japan's never exported warships since the Second World War. It's going to an area in Western Australia which has not actually constructed large steel-hulled warships in the past. So you can see where there may be significant problems. But so far, so good. Right design. It's the right country to be partnering with. And I think we can be very confident that the Japanese will produce those 3 on time and to budget. Then the challenge is we have to do the remainder of them.
But how are we going to be able to facilitate that, Peter, when we have to do the remainder of them? And as you said, in just half a decade's time. So 5 years, we're expected to then take over the building of them.
That's right. And this is also going to be constructed at Henderson, which is already building first-of-type ships for the Navy's amphibious landing vessels, which are actually big ships. The largest of these are as big as Anzac frigates themselves. It's extremely high risk. My prediction, Jamie, is that I don't think we're going to see those Mogami frigates built in Australia. I think the Australian government will ultimately conclude it's better that they're done in Japan, and that West Australian area will have more than enough work to maintain those and other ships into the future.
Well, Peter, I really appreciate your insights this evening. Thank you so much.
Well, London is now in reach of Iran.
Ain't that better? I wish people would stop talking about what Trump said, though, and talk about what they people doing. I don't want to hear every day about Trump. Tell me about, okay, if we go on the other side, what we going to do? What's the policy? What's going to happen? To talk about Trump all day, it ain't gonna make no sense when I can see people getting the hell on and moving away from your policies. When I know I'd be fucked up if I lived in one of them states. Well, they gonna calculate your paintings and everything else and rob you out your money for some illegals to get a hotel room and some health care. Hell to the no, to the no. Surprise, Trump hasn't got anything on the mass shooting. Yeah, I just seen that come across. Is Louisiana a red state or a blue state? Louisiana, red or blue, y'all? Man, get that big ass trailer away from me. Let me find this thing for y'all. Let me find out. That's a mass shooting on American soil.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Ryan Schmelz. I know we were going to get to that event with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the president of Argentina, but we do have now an update from the Shreveport, Louisiana Police Department on that mass shooting that led to 8 people so far being dead. We're going to go ahead and play that out for you right now. It's about a 7 to 8 minute long update from the police department. We do apologize ahead of time. The audio is not that great, but this is one of the first updates they gave us. So let's go ahead and listen into that.
Good morning. We're going to start. We're going to give some initial information what we have, and I want to start with this is all preliminary information. This is a very large scene with 4 specific locations that we are currently addressing events from early this morning. This morning, officers responded to a shooting that occurred just after 6 a.m. In doing so, we've determined that this was a domestic call in nature. The responding officers located a crime scene here in the 300 block of West 79th Street, and this is a rather extensive crime scene spanning between 2 residences here. There is also another residence on Harrison Street that is part of this crime scene as well. Right now, we have at least 10 individuals that were struck by gunfire last night in a domestic disturbance. 8 of these individuals are deceased. The ranges of the decedents are from 1 year of age to approximately 14 years of age. All of the deceased in this case are juvenile. The individual responsible, once leaving this scene, performed a carjacking right here in close proximity to the corner of West.
8 people dead over a damn carjacking? God, dog. He shot up some children for a carjacking? What in the... Man, can we just give him a speedy trial, give him the electric chair right now? I mean, ain't no need to go to trial on this one. Let's just go ahead and say guilty and hit something. Bam! And give him the electric chair. What are we waiting on? This man need to you know what? Let me not incite or whatever. But that my opinion is they need to go ahead and if he's guaranteed guilty, and go ahead and say, oh, he dead. Oh, okay, well that's the best outcome. I didn't hear that part. I'm driving. Sorry about that, but that's the best outcome for him. Ain't no need to be around after that. That's crazy. My condolences to all the victims, boy. That's crazy. I know some parents is losing their stuff right now. Just imagining their kid is no longer here. They done planned the future with their kid, and their kid is no longer here over some BS like this.
79th and Linwood, at which point in time Shreveport Police Patrol officers got behind that vehicle and they chased into. The vehicle was chased into Bossier Parish, and at which point in time Shreveport police officers did discharge their firearm, and that individual is deceased. We do believe him to be the only individual that fired gunshots at these locations here. He is deceased, and Louisiana State Police will be taking over that portion in which the Shreveport police officers discharged their firearms. So we don't have any more information on the shooting that occurred in Bossier. What we can tell you is this is a domestic disturbance here in the 300 block of West 79th Street. This is a very large scene with multiple deceased children present, and so we're going to ask for your patience in us getting into.
I wish they could have hit him in the leg and caught him. Took him in alive and put him in the cell with Uncle Elroy so he can beat the,
Information out. We will release the name of the suspect that is deceased when we have made the proper notifications. We do know that some of the children inside were his descendants, and so once we are sure of everyone's names and ages and the proper channels have been notified, we'll be releasing all of that information. But we did want to come on and give what information we have available. So at this point in time, I'd like to bring the mayor because I know he has some words and he's been here since the early part of this investigation.
Thank you, Chris. Whenever we have a situation like this, the words of the poet John Donne always come to mind. No man is an island unto himself. So therefore, never ask for well told for thee. We have a hurting community. We have hurting families. We have hurting police officers, coroner's personnel, fire department, sheriff people, and this affects the entire community. So we all mourn with these families. It's a Sunday morning. I ask all of you who are listening, who might be able to pray at your services this morning for not just this family, for all the victims, for the victims who are at the hospital, and for the Cedar Grove community, and for the community at large, as well as police officers, coroners, fire department, Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. This is a tragic situation, maybe the worst tragic situation we've ever had in Shreveport. And so right now, we're going to process the information. It is in very good hands, but it's a terrible morning in Shreveport, and we all mourn with the victims.
My heart goes out to this entire community for the tragic event that has taken place this morning. I just don't know what to say tonight. My heart is just taken back. I just cannot begin to imagine how such an event can occur. I want to let the community know that all of my resources are out here processing every piece of evidence in every scene, and at some time in the near future, we'll be able to give some more conclusive information about exactly what took place. I want to thank the agencies that have reached out to me this morning and offered their assistance. Thank you so much to Caddo Parish Sheriff Department, the Louisiana State Police, the Shreveport Fire Department, and all that have either come out to help or called and offered their assistance. But we're going to be working diligently, however long it takes, to get some answers to what is taking place.
As Chief Smith indicated, we will release more information when it's available. We will be working closely with the coroner's office, so look for some information, hopefully by tomorrow, on the information in regards to the 8 children. And just please keep this community and these officers in your thoughts and prayers, because as the mayor indicated, this is an extensive scene, unlike anything I know most of us have ever seen. So as soon as we have information, we have any questions on the investigation.
Chris, can you give the exact address of where this occurred, the shooting occurred?
Well, so you have 3 different scenes. The shooting itself occurred just down the road over here in the 300 block of West 79. There's also another shooting related to this on Harrison Street. And then there's a adjacent resident on West 79 where one of the victims ran to after the shooting. So it is an extensive scene. And once we have all of the information, we'll do the best we can to piece it together.
Chris, what time did all of this just start?
Early morning hours. The initial domestic dispute is somewhere in the 5 o'clock hour, I believe. But once I have a timeline, we'll detail that in the press release.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your years of working, Chris?
This is unlike anything I've ever seen. Unlike anything this community has ever seen.
I know you said you can't release the name of the suspect yet, but can you give an age? Was he a juvenile? Was he an adult?
No, the suspect is an adult. We'll get that information out. Hopefully, not tomorrow.
And you said it happened at multiple locations. Gunfire happened at multiple locations.
Yes, that is
So this joker must have been riding around popping children? How does it happen at multiple locations? That's crazy. That, man, people moving with demon time, boy. This why I don't go around large crowd. No, sir. 404 day, none of that. No large crowds. No large crowd. Fuck that.
How many locations exactly?
So, Harrison Street address, we know there's a shooting there. There's multiple deceased persons here in the 300 block of West 79. And then the shooting that occurred in Bossier. So we have several crime scenes. And I really want to thank Louisiana State Police and Bossier and friends with the County Sheriff's Office. This type of a scene requires a lot of resources, requires a lot of officers who want to ensure this is thoroughly investigated, and we can do the best we can to try to understand this. I don't know if we'll ever understand but we'll do the best we can to explain it and get whatever closure we can get to the families involved in this case.
And you sure they're all connected, all the scenes?
Yes, absolutely. These things are undoubtedly connected. Right now, there is no public safety threat. There's no this violence, and that individual is deceased.
Are you able to share motive at this time?
We just know it's the next thing. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes that press conference there. And as you heard, the audio was a little hard to hear. So some of the updates that we got there from the police department there in Shreveport, Louisiana. This was a shooting that had several different locations. It happened around.
That's crazy. A shooting with several different locations that resulted in the unaliving of 8 children. That's wild. That I wouldn't want to be a part of. Nothing to do with that, boy. That's crazy. But listen, man, that's my time. Y'all have a blessed rest of y'all day. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone, man. Y'all do something beautiful today, man. God dang. People moving on demon time, man. Do something beautiful today. I know I am. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm gone.